Hey everyone! Did you know that holding a US passport doesn't guarantee you entry everywhere? It might come as a surprise, but there are actually countries out there that restrict or completely ban entry to American citizens. In this video, we're diving into 10 countries Americans can't visit in 2025. We'll explore the reasons behind these restrictions, from political tensions and ongoing conflicts to safety concerns and even health crises. It's crucial to stay informed about travel restrictions, not just to avoid disappointment when planning your dream trip, but also to stay safe and respect the sovereignty of other nations. So, buckle up, get ready to broaden your global perspective, and let's jump right in. First up, we're heading to the Korean Peninsula, to a nation shrouded in mystery, North Korea. This enigmatic country has long fascinated and perplexed the world with its secretive regime and isolated stance. For Americans, setting foot in North Korea is extremely difficult, bordering on impossible. The barriers to entry are numerous and stringent. The U.S. government itself strongly advises against all travel to North Korea due to the serious risk of arrest and long-term detention of U.S. nationals. The warnings are clear and stern. This travel ban stems from decades of strained diplomatic relations, stemming back to the Korean War and continuing through to present-day nuclear tensions. The historical context is crucial to understanding the current situation. While there are a few extremely limited exceptions for things like humanitarian work or journalism, getting permission requires navigating a labyrinth of bureaucratic hurdles and special validations. These exceptions are rare and heavily scrutinized. Even if you manage to secure the necessary documents, travel within North Korea is heavily restricted, with visitors constantly accompanied by government minders. These minders ensure that tourists see only what the regime wants them to see. So, while the allure of experiencing this isolated nation firsthand might be tempting for some, the reality is that North Korea remains largely off-limits to American travelers. The dream of exploring its landscapes and culture remains elusive for most. Next, we journey to the Middle East, to a land of ancient history and vibrant culture. Iran. This country, known for its rich heritage and stunning landscapes, offers a unique blend of the old and the new, from bustling bazaars to serene deserts. Similar to North Korea, traveling to Iran as an American citizen presents significant challenges. The political relationship between the United States and Iran has been strained for decades, making it difficult for Americans to visit. The U.S. government advises against travel to Iran due to the risk of arbitrary arrest, detention, and hostage-taking. These warnings are not to be taken lightly, as the political climate can be unpredictable. These travel advisories are rooted in a complex history of political and ideological differences between the two nations, dating back to the Iranian Revolution in 1979. This event marked a significant turning point in U.S.-Iran relations. While obtaining a visa is technically possible for Americans, it's a notoriously difficult and lengthy process, often requiring special authorization and letters of invitation from within Iran. The bureaucratic hurdles can be daunting. Even if you successfully obtain a visa, it's crucial to understand that traveling independently as an American is generally not allowed. The restrictions are stringent and must be adhered to. You'll likely be required to join organized tours and be accompanied by a licensed guide throughout your entire trip. This ensures that your movements are monitored and that you stay within the bounds of the law. So, while exploring the wonders of Iran might be a dream for many, the current political climate makes it a complicated and potentially risky endeavor for American citizens. The beauty and history of Iran are undeniable, but the journey requires careful planning and consideration. Our journey now takes us to a nation tragically caught in the throes of conflict, Syria. Due to the ongoing civil war and extreme security concerns, the U.S. government has issued its highest level of travel advisory for Syria: do not travel. The Syrian conflict, which erupted in 2011, has resulted in widespread violence, destruction, and a devastating humanitarian crisis. The situation makes it extremely dangerous for anyone, let alone American citizens, to travel to Syria. Beyond the immediate dangers of active conflict zones, there's a high risk of kidnapping, terrorism, and detention. The U.S. government's ability to provide assistance to citizens in distress within Syria is severely limited, making it even more crucial to heed the travel warnings and avoid all travel to this war-torn nation. Our next stop takes us to the southern tip of the Arabian Peninsula, to Yemen, a nation grappling with a devastating humanitarian crisis. The U.S. government strongly advises against all travel to Yemen due to terrorism, civil unrest, armed conflict, and the high risk of kidnapping. Yemen has been embroiled in a brutal civil war since 2014, leading to widespread violence, displacement, and a severe humanitarian disaster. The conflict has created a highly volatile security situation, with numerous armed groups operating throughout the country. Kidnappings, particularly of foreigners, are a serious concern, and the U.S. government's ability to provide assistance in such situations is extremely limited. Given these extreme dangers, it's crucial to prioritize your safety and avoid all travel to Yemen. Our journey through restricted countries now takes us to North Africa, to Libya, a nation striving to rebuild after years of political turmoil. The U.S. government strongly advises against all travel to Libya due to terrorism, armed conflict, civil unrest, and the high risk of kidnapping. Following the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, Libya has been plagued by instability and violence. Rival factions continue to vie for power, creating a dangerous and unpredictable security environment. The presence of extremist groups, including ISIS, further exacerbates the risks for travelers. Kidnappings and attacks targeting foreigners have been reported, and the U.S. government's ability to provide assistance in such situations is severely limited. It's crucial to stay informed about the evolving situation in Libya and avoid all travel to this volatile nation. Our exploration now leads us to the Horn of Africa, to Somalia, a nation facing ongoing security challenges. The U.S. government strongly advises against all travel to Somalia due to terrorism, armed conflict, piracy, and the high risk of kidnapping. Somalia has struggled with instability and violence for decades, with the rise of the militant group Al-Shabaab posing a significant threat to security. The group has carried out numerous attacks, including bombings and kidnappings, targeting both Somali civilians and foreigners. Piracy, once a major concern off the Somali coast, has decreased in recent years, but remains a potential risk. The lack of a strong central government and ongoing conflict make it extremely dangerous to travel within Somalia. It's crucial to prioritize your safety and avoid all travel to this volatile region. Our journey continues in South America, to Venezuela, a nation grappling with a severe political and economic crisis. While not officially banned, the United States government strongly advises against all travel to Venezuela due to crime, civil unrest, poor health infrastructure, and arbitrary detentions. Venezuela's ongoing crisis has led to widespread shortages of food, medicine, and basic necessities. The situation has fueled social unrest and protests, creating a volatile security environment. The United States government has limited ability to provide assistance to citizens in distress within Venezuela. Travelers, particularly American citizens, face the risk of arbitrary detention and harassment by Venezuelan authorities. It's essential to stay informed about the evolving situation and avoid all travel to Venezuela until conditions improve. Our exploration takes us back to Asia, to Afghanistan, a nation undergoing a complex transition following the withdrawal of U.S. troops in 2021. The U.S. government strongly advises against all travel to Afghanistan due to terrorism, civil unrest, armed conflict, and the high risk of kidnapping. The Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan has led to significant uncertainty and instability. The security situation remains highly volatile, with the potential for violence and attacks targeting foreigners. The U.S. government's ability to provide assistance to citizens in Afghanistan is extremely limited. Given the evolving security situation and unpredictable environment, it's crucial to prioritize your safety and avoid all travel to Afghanistan. Our journey through restricted nations takes us to Iraq, a country still rebuilding after years of conflict and instability. While not entirely off limits, the U.S. government strongly advises against all but essential travel to Iraq due to terrorism, armed conflict, and civil unrest. Despite significant progress in recent years, Iraq continues to face security challenges. Terrorist groups, including ISIS, remain active in certain areas and pose a threat to both Iraqi citizens and foreigners. The U.S. government's ability to provide assistance to citizens in distress within Iraq can be limited, especially in remote or dangerous areas. Travelers should exercise extreme caution, avoid all travel to high-risk areas, and stay informed about the evolving security situation before considering a trip to Iraq. And finally, we arrive at our most surprising entry on this list, Russia. While not a complete travel ban, the U.S. government has issued a do not travel advisory for Russia, urging all American citizens to leave immediately. This advisory stems from the ongoing war in Ukraine and the unpredictable actions of the Russian government. The situation has created a heightened risk of harassment, detention, and arbitrary enforcement of local laws for foreigners, particularly Americans. The U.S. government has limited ability to provide assistance to citizens in Russia, and the potential for arbitrary detention further complicates matters. This advisory serves as a stark reminder that travel restrictions can change rapidly based on global events, and it's crucial to stay informed and prioritize your safety when making travel plans. So there you have it, our exploration of 10 countries where Americans face travel restrictions or outright bans in 2025. It's crucial to stay updated on these developments, as they can change rapidly and impact your travel plans significantly. From political tensions and armed conflicts to humanitarian crises and security concerns, the reasons behind these restrictions are as diverse as the countries themselves. Each situation presents unique challenges and risks that travelers need to be aware of. Remember, staying informed about travel advisories and restrictions isn't just about avoiding a travel snafu. It's about prioritizing your safety and being a responsible global citizen. By keeping yourself updated, you can make informed decisions and avoid potential dangers. Before you book your next adventure, check the latest travel advisories from your government and reputable sources. This simple step can save you from a lot of trouble and ensure a smoother travel experience. What are your thoughts on these travel restrictions? Do you think they are justified or too restrictive? Have you ever encountered travel bans or challenges while planning your trips? How did you handle them, and what advice would you give to fellow travelers? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your insights could help others navigate similar situations. And for more tips on staying safe and informed while traveling, check out my next video on essential travel safety tips. Until then, safe travels. Stay vigilant and enjoy your journeys responsibly.